My gardener works harder than I ever did in my entire life. His name is Miguel. He's 72 years old. He wakes up before the sun 6 days a week and works 12-hour days in the heat, the cold, the rain, whatever the weather decides to throw at him. He's been doing this for over 30 years, and he can't afford to retire. I worked 40-hour weeks for most of my career. I retired at 60. I'm 98 years old now, with more money than I could spend in several lifetimes. Miguel worked twice as many hours as I ever did, and yet I'm more than 10 times wealthier. Not because I'm smarter, not because I worked harder, but because I understood something most people never do. Working hard does not make you rich. Working hard keeps you poor. And I know that sentence alone will offend people. It goes against everything you've been taught since childhood. But it is the mathematical truth, and once you see it clearly, you can never unsee it. Drop a comment right now and tell me how many hours you actually work per week. Not what you tell people. The real number. Because if it's over 50 and you're still struggling financially, you're in the same trap Miguel is in, and I'm going to show you exactly how to escape it step by step, using logic, math, and lived experience, not motivation or fantasy. Promise yourself you'll listen to this all the way through, because the idea I'm about to give you will permanently change how you think about work, money, and freedom. The wealthy understand this principle early. The broke almost never do. The fundamental problem is trading time for money. There are only 168 hours in a week. No exceptions. You need about 56 of those just to sleep if you want to function. You need another 20 or so for basic human survival. Eating, hygiene, commuting, personal responsibilities. That leaves roughly 92 hours as an absolute maximum for work. And most people physically cannot sustain even close to that long term without destroying their health, their marriages, and their sanity. So if your income is directly tied to hours worked, your wealth has a ceiling. A hard ceiling. You can't work more than time allows, and once your body begins to fail, your income collapses. Miguel is living proof of this. He works nearly 80 hours a week and earns around $40,000 a year. His knees hurt. His back is damaged. He's exhausted every single day. And yet he has no leverage. If he stops working, the money stops instantly. That's the trap. Now contrast that with leverage. Leverage means 1 unit of your effort produces many units of output. It means your thinking directs systems, people, capital, or assets that continue working whether you're present or not. 1 hour of strategy can direct 40 hours of labor. $1 invested can control $5 of assets. One system can perform a task thousands of times without your involvement. One asset can generate income 24 hours a day, every day, for decades. This is why the wealthy work less and earn more as they age, while hard workers burn out and fall behind. There are 5 major forms of leverage, and every wealthy person you admire uses at least 3 of them, often without even realizing it. The first is people leverage. When you hire someone, you are not paying for their labor. You are buying back your time. If your time is worth $50 an hour and you pay someone $20 an hour to handle tasks that don't require your expertise, you gain $30 in value every hour. Over a year, that becomes tens of thousands of dollars. But most people refuse to do this because they emotionally believe doing things themselves saves money. It doesn't. It keeps them trapped. I once asked Miguel why he didn't hire helpers. He could manage a small crew, do the skilled work himself, and triple his income. He told me he couldn't afford to hire anyone. That answer explains exactly why he will never escape. By doing everything himself, he guarantees his income will always be limited by his aging body. The second form is money leverage. This is where most people's fear completely destroys their future. Intelligent debt used to acquire appreciating income-producing assets multiplies returns. A $40,000 down payment can control a $200,000 property. You capture 100% of the appreciation, 100% of the rental income, and your tenant pays down the debt. Over time, your returns are not 5%. They are 20, 30, even 40% annually on invested capital. But people are terrified of debt, so they put money into savings accounts earning 3% and call it safe. It isn't safe. It's a slow guarantee of mediocrity. Fear of leverage costs people hundreds of thousands, often millions, over a lifetime. The third form is system leverage. Systems allow work to happen without your constant involvement. Automation, procedures, documented processes, software, repeatable workflows. These are time machines. You invest effort once and reap benefits for years. Most people are too busy to build systems because they are drowning in manual work. But that's exactly why they need systems. Being busy is not productivity. It is often a sign of inefficiency. Wealthy people obsess over removing themselves from processes, not inserting themselves into everything. The fourth form is asset leverage. Assets are things that produce income without your direct labor. Rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, businesses that operate without you, royalties, intellectual property. When you own assets, other people's labor generates your income. This is not exploitation. It is structure. Employees work. Customers pay. Systems operate. You earn. This is how income detaches from time. $100,000 in assets producing 8% generates $8,000 annually whether you work or not. That is $8,000 you did not trade hours for. Over decades, this compounds into freedom. The fifth form is knowledge leverage. Knowledge is learned once and used forever. When you learn how to analyze investments, negotiate contracts, build systems, or manage people, that knowledge multiplies every future decision. 100 hours spent learning can save or generate hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. But most people never invest time in learning because they are exhausted from working. They are too tired to escape the system that is draining them. I learned this lesson the hard way. In my 20s, I worked 70-hour weeks as a lawyer. I made good money, but I was exhausted, stressed, and trapped. One client told me something that haunted me for months. He said, "Daniel, you're just a very expensive employee." He was right. If I stopped working, my income stopped. He owned apartment buildings. His income arrived whether he worked or not. That realization changed everything. I began slowly shifting my time from billable hours into learning, investing, and building systems. At first, my income dropped. That scared me. But I stayed disciplined. By my mid-30s, I worked fewer hours and earned more. By my 40s, I had leverage. By 60, I retired completely. The income never stopped. Two men can start at the same point, with the same intelligence, same education, same work ethic, and end up with radically different outcomes. One trades time for money forever. The other builds leverage. One reaches old age exhausted and dependent. The other reaches old age free and secure. Miguel and I had the same number of hours in our lives. We made different choices with them. Here's the part most people resist. Escaping the time for money trap requires sacrifice. Real sacrifice. Not skipping coffee, not canceling Netflix. It means living below your ego. Driving an old car. Living in a smaller place. Saying no to things that make you look successful, but keep you broke. It means temporarily earning less, so you can build something that earns without you. Most people refuse to do this because they cannot tolerate short-term discomfort. So they choose long-term struggle. Automate or delegate them. Use the time you recover to learn leverage. Pick one path, real estate, business, investing, systems, and study it obsessively for 6 months. Then take imperfect action. Your first investment won't change your life. Your 10th might. Compound leverage works slowly, then suddenly. I've watched people like Miguel work themselves into the ground for 50 years and end up with nothing but pain and exhaustion. I've watched others build leverage patiently and quietly and end up with freedom beyond what they imagined. The difference was never effort. It was structure. It was understanding leverage. I'm 98 years old now. I don't have many years left, but I'm using what time I have to share this, because I've seen too many lives wasted on the illusion that hard work alone leads to wealth. It doesn't. Leverage does. If you're still listening, you have a chance. A real chance. Don't waste it. Don't feel inspired and then return to the same patterns. Do something today. One small step. Calculate your time. Reclaim your hours. Start learning leverage. 5 years from now, you'll either be grateful you started or regret that you didn't. The math is clear. The path is clear. All that's left is your decision.